The club dropping in 6 games to FaZe here. 2 goals taken off the board. At the end of the day, FaZe going to come out on top here, Gibbs.
Long timeouts for Roll Diz to rally the boys. You know, tech issues aside, but Roll Diz, that is a hard job as your first day as a coach.
Yeah, birth by fire.
But he does a great job, and that is the first team that was down 2 games in a series to win a series in this entire tournament so far. So hats off to FaZe for battling back.
They had to do it. They had to really dig deep. We've seen KV1 stepping up in this series, which is great signs for them throughout the rest of the tournament. But even though Typical was the man of the hour for multiple reasons, he actually had a really significant performance.
Typical probably was the best one in this whole entire series. The absolute Scipio Glue came back looking like Season 7, Season 8 type form. FK was playing solid, but the club, they were off the rip, mechanically brilliant. But me and you, Gibbs, were in the green room talking, saying, they're going to come back, first team back from 2-0. And of course, it did happen. They just need to warm up a little bit, had to get ingratiated into the series. And after that, FaZe Clan looked like the better team from there on out.
I was sweating, though. I'm not going to lie. Club up 2. Like, KV1 was playing amazing. Talking about Club's offense, only number 12 throughout a wild card, but that was because KV1 wasn't looking that great. He looked fantastic throughout the series. Club's offense was clicking with the fakes and everything. And then, of course, obviously, with tech issues aside, it was not a controller issue, so we'll lay that to bed, just a bug in the game. The long time out, but they come back. FaZe wins that overtime. Then we see Sip again, a hat trick in the final game. FaZe battle back.
Yeah, no, and looking at the club moving forward here, obviously dropping the lower back, we will see them again here. That's a hard one to bounce back from, but if they do, what a testament it is to the strength of this team if they're able to come back from a series like that. So we'll see them again a little bit later on up in Dickies Arena on Friday. Let's take a look at the group stage. 1 match done here for Group B. See FaZe Clan in the upper finals there. 3 more matches to go here before we are done with the day. And we're going to jump up to the top there. We saw a little foreshadowing before we came back from break. G2 Esports taking on Optic Gaming.
Baseman isn't here to gas up the green wall this time, but don't worry, I'm going to give the green wall a whole bunch of love. But G2, OG, 2 teams that ended up switching rosters initially, come from the fall, after the fall split into the winter split. Drees and Atomic switching teams. OG game, the old Envy getting picked up by Optic Gaming. These 2 teams have went through a lot of adversity throughout the whole entire season, and now they're here at the world stage.
And this is a matchup that's happened over and over again in North America. Every single time, it's gone the way of G2. It's been a very, very dominant season, as you'd expect from the Winter Major champions.
Well, Optic, they're trying to change the course of history at this point and find a win over G2.
It's not too much of a shocking result for us. We kind of expected it, but looking forward to the rest of the tournament. It's going to be tough playing against the main stage teams, but we're ready for it.
Good demo, missed, moves back.
We have vendettas against any team who's knocked us out in the past, so Furia and version 1 mainly. They would feel best to win against Moist since they're the strongest team here. Every series is super important, so we're gonna have to perform at our best.
It's a 1-2 from the cross in front of the net, back out to a rotation, and Drees capitalizes downfield. Optic have the first lead.
I do think we have an advantage over teams who haven't played in the wild card, since we're used to the computers and the LAN setup and playing on stream. I think it'll help us in the early stages. Nothing to say, then we'll let our gameplay do the talking.
They feel confident here, but this is going to be the biggest battle that Drees has had against his former team.
Yeah, but Optic Gaming, who finished better at London, Bates? I believe that was Optic. They finished top 8, played in front of the crowd. G2 did not, so maybe 1-1 on this roster trade. So
yeah, but that was the Mickey run, Gibbs. That was it. It was team secret. It was a point. You can't do that to them.
Listen, I don't want to hear anything about Mickey Run from OG Gaming. We saw a young miss right there. Tell me a team in the scene that has gone through this much turmoil, this much adversity throughout the whole entire year. Atomic left them, picked up Drees. Turbo posted up 4 times on the bench. Land lose in now. They've gone through all this, and yet they're still here on the world stage, competing against one of the best in the game. And it starts with that young man right there leading the team.
That's what we always do with Optic Gaming, is we underestimate Land Lucian and how much of an impact he's going to do. We forget about it, then he comes back and he does well in the wild card.
But there's no bigger win for Drees than the team he got kicked off of with G2. Drees wants this probably more than anyone on the field right now.
And getting it in the group stages, getting it in like league play online is one thing. It would feel good, but all those losses they suffered online, not going to matter if he gets the win here.
So they played 3 times after the trade, and so far 0-3 for Drees, but none of that matters. It's World Championship.
Well, and then you heard Lucian talking about it, like coming from the wild card. They've played on this stage before. We've seen the wild card team start strong here. If they can start early, they might be able to put G2 in a rough spot. G2, though, on the other side, looking to get back in form.
It feels great to be here in Dallas. If we didn't make it through this Worlds, we would have been super disappointed as a team. And just making the Worlds in general was a big goal for us this season. And I think we accomplished it, being the first seed in North America.
G2, 1 game away from winning the major for themselves, not for North America.
We have a new player, Atomic, and me and Chicago are kind of older players in the scene. And I try to be that third man type play style that everyone talks about, and just filling in the gaps where it's needed.
How many times have it looked like G2 were about to take control? Here they come! We've got a ball game!
It means a lot to me to be here. I think I've been playing for a long time, and I've gone to many World Championships, and I've never got that first place, and that's what I've been fighting for my whole career. This is the final tournament I want to end my career on and win the World Championship. We're going all the way.
Man, G2, the third team that has won a major to play here on the stage. Both Moist and BDS won their first matches here, Bates. G2's got to complete the hat trick.
Can we say something about what was not talking about saying in his career for the World Championship now? You still got a long time to go. That's Captain Canada right there. Come on.
I think he's not talking about this night. I'm thinking at some point he's going to win a world championship. Surely.
A lot of pressure on G2, though. We talked about the roller coaster of the full major, no top 8 there. Then they make the wash with winter major. They win it. They take over the #1 seed in North America. Then in spring, they win 2 regionals, hold on to #1. But when we got to London, a finish outside the top 8.
Am I the one person that gets confused by the New York hats on a player named Chicago? I didn't think
He's from Los Angeles.
He's not like a Cubs hat or something.
Big fan.
Well, he's not from Chicago. He's from Los Angeles, but he does stay in New York, I think, now. This is where the G2 facility is. But Atomic, the young man right there, risen up the ranks, the MVP, the true MVP, Gibbs. Thank you very much. You got to be able to win a major to win MVP. And the moment he joined G2, they have ascended. I understand in London, they had a couple bumps in a row, but it happens to all the great teams. You got to learn from that. It's better to happen then than happen now.
Hey, it's great. It's best of 7 here, so much harder to get reverse swept out of this tournament.
That is true. It's a lot easier to get reverse swept when they're best of 5s, 2 best of 5s in London. But hey, G2, they know what they need to do. Out of all these teams, #1 in North America for a reason. They have a huge point lead over FaZe. G2, it's going to be roller coaster though. I'm not sure.
Turbo's not here. We've got manager Ian behind them. Famous Ian, of course. He's going to be coaching.
Happy birthday though. Happy birthday, yes.
Belated happy birthday to Turbo Pulsa. I was upset last night when we found out we sang Rise's dad happy birthday, which, fair enough, it was his birthday, but we didn't sing Turbo Pulsa happy birthday here. Happy birthday, Turbo.
And I will say that you got Coach Staffy Hopkins, as I like to call him. He's been orchestrating this team. I put him in that same cachet, Coach Roman, SSG, bringing in the game plans, and he has great players that take those in and implement them onto the field. Most teams and rosters cannot do that.
Yeah, this first year is going to be super important for G2, mentality-wise, after how tough London was, how they would have felt mentally after that. This is their regain, hopefully. Unless Mist steps up again.
It's so difficult to tell what they're going to show on stage, right? Like Optic, I think you know exactly what they're going to bring. A lot of defense, not a ton of offense, a lot of counterattacks. Optic is very consistent, but they're consistent as like a #5 in NA. G2, their peak, obviously, #1 in North America, maybe the best
in the world,
like winter major. But then they finish outside top 8 in 2 of those majors as well. So you just don't know what they're going to bring.
And is there a common thread between the two bottom 8 finishes, between not making it to the finals for G2 that we're got to keep our eye on here for match #1?
I think it's going to come down to their offense. They have a high-powered offense, but when they shoot and they shoot poorly, I think that is when they get in trouble because they like to send all three upfield. And Optic would love for G2 to do that and then shoot and miss, and then we get a counterattack goal. So I think Optic, they're going to play their defensive game, and they're going to hope that the shots are just a little bit off on G2.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Chicago, I feel like, have a little bit of a rough time in London. All the way back in the fall major, Chicago and JNAP are two experienced players. I think they put a lot of pressure on their shoulders, considering how close they've been in the past to World Championship win, to how much it means to them. I'm glad that they got that major win, but now we go up a step.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of X factors you can point at here, Fates, but for me, I'm still just looking at the same lineup I was looking at earlier, Breeze versus Atomic. The roster change finally coming to like this pinnacle here as these players swap and who's going to come out on top.
And that's why, as you bring it up, that's such an important point to make. A lot of people, when Breeze ended up joining Ode and be now Optic Gaming, a lot of people didn't expect Optic Gaming to be here this time because they thought Breeze, a significant downgrade, Atomic too great, the team won't be here. So that really shows how good Breeze is, how good the OG roster is. I'm so proud of them to be in here. It's going to be exciting match.
You got to prove them right here. Let's see how you feel at home in the Verizon fan vote. Hashtag OG, hashtag G2. Depending on the side you're following here, we'll just go down the line. Geez, man, G2 or Optic?
Well, I'm going to play with history. Up with these two rosters, with Atomic switched over. G2 have won every single time, and I'm going to back it again. It's going to be an easy one for G2.
I have a long history with G2 predictions. Not going well sometimes, but I'm sorry, G2 fans. I'm going to have to pick G2 here. They have always beaten Optic. Might be cursed, but I'm going G2.
JNF's Atomic Chicago. You already know I'm rolling with G2, baby. You already knew that, man. I got Atomic versus Mist. Two of my favorite players on the game, two of the best players in the game in my estimation. I think that G2, the offensive prowess, we saw NOG yesterday really putting on the pressure against V1, but they couldn't capitalize. G2 doesn't have that problem anymore. They're too calculated, too efficient. OG, your back's against the wall.
Here's the thing. G2 has always beaten Optic, but every one of those is online. Not on this stage that Optic's been playing on for 5 days. And the only times I've doubted the green wall, they've proven me wrong. I'm sticking with the green wall, and this one I saw one green wall sign out there. Give them to me, folks. I believe in them. We can make it happen. Bigger mountains have been moved in Rocket League. How's the chat feeling at home in the Verizon fan vote here? Okay, you know what? I'm going to say the green wall's been showing up more and more as this event's been going on. It was like 10% the first match.
21's better.
Yeah, they were even favorites the last time we saw them on the stage. So. Good to see the players here. I mean, I'm looking at Atomic. I'm looking at Drees. Can Drees pull all up to this pressure though? This is going to be a lot.
It's really going to be like Optic. I feel like game one is a must-win for Optic. You can't let G2 begin rolling.
That's facts.
So you need at least the first two games, very similar to FaZe and Club. Like Club got the first two games, made it a series, but FaZe found their form. Same thing's going to happen here with G2.
All right, well, let's get on to the stage for an inter-regional match, G2 versus Optic. Optic has lost every time. Can they change the story here? G2, they've got the fans in the house and in chat. Let's get into game one. Let's head down to the Verizon Skybox.
A classic North American skirmish here in North America. I'm Stampy, joined by Fubi, and these two teams have a very favorable matchup in terms of G2. It is currently 6-1 in favor of our Winter Major champion.
Yeah, but Stumpy, you gotta put an asterisk on that one. When they did take down G2, Atomic was on that roster, and as you know, the North American MVP on the side of G2 Esports now.
And interestingly, they didn't even win that match. It was the set, it was the one back in fall, it was the 3 best-of-7s, 21 games, just the one series win in the middle for Envy at the time, now Optic. So yet to actually beat G2 in to progress through a bracket or to take a fight.
Well, and I really feel like that's going to be the game plan for Optic. They've got to play the marathon here. They cannot try and go toe-to-toe with G2 Esports. They've got to try and take them into deep water.
Good opportunities at the right-hand wing as Drees is going to push it around the side. Chicago and JNL both waiting on that back wall. Chancellor blocked out on the left yet again. JNL being incredibly aggressive. That's what we saw from him at the Winter Major. And I think we're going to be talking about the Winter Major when we say G2 are good, and we're going to be talking about the Spring Major when we say that G2 are not so good.
Yeah, not the best performance from them, especially coming out as major champions and not even making it to the crowd days. Mist gets that one right around Atomic, barreling down the field. And nice poke there from a Chicago, getting that away from Mist. And I'm gonna have all eyes on Drees here. He's been one of my favorite players in North America. There has been so much talk all around him on G2, and I've always said, please more Drees, but denied on the goal line. Couldn't quite get under the crossbar, and there's Drees looking for a big clear, gets that boost, but JNAP continues the pressure for G2.
A very interesting history between these two teams, wherein Optic switch one player for the other. You've got Drees moving over for Atomic and then going back again, and it is a big, big situation where these teams just decided we are better with the other one. We are better with your teammate. But JNAP from Chicago, they have been misters of G2 for a long time now.
An awkward touch there for Illusion, but Drees with the help elects to go backwards, get that midfield boost, and great drop down pass. Drees a little too far back for the follow-up by Mist, but here comes G2, almost halfway through game number 1 here, and still both teams yet to score.
Mist was extremely low on boost on that shot as well. I probably could have got round it, but then looking at the boost counter, he ended on 0. But that call, if it came in, maybe he could have passed it instead of ended up being a bit of a nothing shot. Halfway through the game, chances are rising. Atomic shooting against Drees, each other's replacements, so absolutely no bad blood there whatsoever.
Yeah, and big demo there in the defensive half from Mist to slow down that pressure coming out from G2 as Atomic bombs that one forward, just out of the reach of Chicago, but Chicago gonna go for that big boost heal, looking for bump, can't quite find anyone, and here comes Drees, gets the challenge, ball towards midfield, but no one there in the box to clean things up.
Opportunity though for Drees to go for a shot down, instead Mist will have to return. JNAP, right hand wing, chances but no boost, so he will have to retreat. Just go for a bump on the way. Those aggressive plays doing so well for teams across the board. Go for a pass, go for a bump, help your teammates out in whichever way they are able to do so. Drees, chance to pass center, but Atomic.
Yeah.
What a clear into the opposite corner. Sets up Chicago for one. Alu continuing on that touchdown.
Yeah, much needed touch as well on that double commit. Very fortuitous bounce in his favor as Atomic, little help from his teammate to get this ball, and Chicago cuts rotations, might have disrupted Atomic just enough, and it does. Turnover for G2, but they do keep it in the zone, and here comes Drees. Goes around one, but that ball just away from him. Chicago to Atomic, Atomic towards net, just a little too high off the crossbar.
Just a smidge, pretty much beans on that bad boy. Chicago in the midfield, catches it high, chance to go to JNAP. Again, opportunities for passes, but with Atomic missing, Chicago has to fill in that gap. Passes central, Atomic from nowhere actually gets that touch off the back from JNAP. Drees going for a wonder goal, isn't able to get it on that chance. Final minute, rapidly approaching, still 0-0 in this one.
And Optic Gaming realized how important it is to hold back G2. So dangerous that they get game number 1. You give them game 1, Stumpy, they're 90% likely to win that series. So Optic Gaming holding on for dear life. Double demo coming out as Atomic gets that ball away. And 40 seconds remain here. Game number 1, G2 pushing forward.
And Alu rocking the Merc as well, which is a very interesting card choice. I always love seeing a little bit of deviation from the normal. I'm sure that he wants to make this goal anything but normal. Chance for it to go high, but instead cleared away yet again by JNAP. Very loose touch from Drees, that falls back to Mist, has to clear it away. A couple of errors from both teams coming out, but nothing devastating just yet. Mist though, left again with an opportunity to shoot with nobody in the way.
Yeah, a little bit of hesitation there from Chicago, and it might have been the fact that he had 50 boost in the tank. Drees puts that one to his back corner, but no one home there. This is going to be dangerous. G2 has a chance. With a big swing and miss on the goal line. Is this ball going to get cleared downfield? You can hear everyone counting down with us. The ball floating at the top of the box and turned away by Atomic, but the ball still alive. And overtime we go here in game number 1.
I saw Alu's name up in lights there at 0 seconds, but he just did not have the ability to put that one away. An immediate push coming in from G2 with a misplay from Optic. The green wall thus far holding strong against the mighty Samurai of G2.
Big demo there in midfield, going to clear things up for Mist, but those first touches for Optic Gaming been getting away from them. Ball control not quite there. Let's see if Mist can get that towards central, and no, Drees going to elect to go in. Illusion forced to go back, but that ball almost gets over his head, and these teams have just been going back and forth, Stumpy. It's almost like there's no midfield in play. They're just so comfortable playing in each other's half.
Yeah, the His build being completely forsook in this game thus far. Chance for those to shoot on target. Alu clearing it away, but Atomic starting to look dangerous. In the corner by Chicago. Opportunities arising. JNet's passing to Atomic onto the backboard, the double tap. Nearly a chance for Alu clearing it away again. JNet's removed Mist from the conversation.
Yes. Spawning on the right side there to cover up the goal line is that ball hanging top of the box. This is going to be dangerous. JNAP can't quite reach it, coming off the back wall, and Grease, no boost, didn't realize it. Oh, just off of the post. JNAP can't clean it up, and the green wall living up to their name, but finally they fall. G2 Esports takes game number 1.
The wall beginning to crumble as G2 take a sledgehammer to every individual brick. Mortar goes flying as Chicago finds the top left. G2, first game going their way. And Subi, please remind me of that stat for G2 winning game 1.
90% series win rate if they take game number 1. You want to talk about momentum? Well, it is all on the side of G2 Esports right now as they take a big sigh of relief after getting a dub there in game 1. And the fans all around the world have got to feel good about that one, especially coming in as heavy favorites against Optic.
There's chances for retribution and to show that each of these teams is able to perform when it matters. G2, we said the Winter Major was the best we have literally ever seen them play. They became champions of the world in that moment. And yet then spring was not their time. They ended up bowing out right at the end of that, start of that competition. And Optic had a couple of shock wins and they still want to prove to everybody they are here to hang with the big dogs, because that roster has gone through a billion permutations, it feels like, over the
Yeah, and I really feel like adding Illusion has done so much for this team, so much comfort on that side. But you talk about roster changes and bringing Atomic over to G2. When we saw them play in the Winter Major, I mean, it's just finally he lived up to all those expectations. And then I feel like they just got a little too comfortable in spring. A couple reverse sweeps, got too comfortable there. But here, realizing most important stage, World Championships, so much on the line. Game 2, Aquadome, here we come.
Aquadome is such a pretty map. You rarely get to see it from that angle. I love the observing that we've seen so far. It's been wonderful. G2, they're going to be looking out for a win themselves. Another one, they go for 2, then 3, then 4. They want to be shutting down this series quicker than the club phase ended up going. It's been a long day so far, and it's literally 1 p.m.
Well, you know, you're probably on a different time zone or something. I'm not sure, but either way, here comes Optic, denying the first shot from G2 Esports. Solution just floating, didn't have boost, but JNAP didn't know it, puts it down on his goal line, and thankfully no punishment coming from Optic.
Chance for Drees, though, to score on that chance, but Drees now being bumped away from that ball. Very good recovery from him to slide into the boost and continue down the pitch, facing off versus his old captain in JNAP, Atomic to the sky. Opportunity again to go underneath this ball, falling to G2 over and over again.
And great cover there as that ball just finds its way back post and in. Great chip shot here from JNAP.
That is just something a little bit naughty, with Chicago laying it off to him in a lot of space. Alu's momentum carried him away from that shot. Has to stop, put the brakes on, tries the half flip, isn't able to get there, and G2 with an early lead in game number 2.
And so, oh no, bad kickoff here for G2. Illusion can't get it around Atomic as Drees tries to keep things alive. This one pushed forward. JNAP's up early and gets the touch on that one. So dangerous and so creative as an awkward bounce comes out of the corner. Gonna be favor here for Optic Gaming. Big bump, but JNAP's just barrels his way through. Oh my goodness, what a pass downfield and what a redirect from Illusion to tie this game up.
In the midfield, you just see that touch going slightly too wide. Drees able to shoot it towards the net, but Alu on the way out, he whips back in. He's able to get it in that bottom corner. All respawning, we find ourselves level between Optic and G2.
And so far, all of the offense that's been present for G2 has been running through Chicago and JNAP. Still waiting to see the reigning North American MVP get involved. He's been getting a few defensive stops, but he is so deadly, so mechanical. Big stop on the goal line from JNAP. Gets another one as well, refuses to let that ball in.
JNAP showing the green wall what a real brick is made of. manages to keep it out from that line again. Soaring above the net, missed though, wanting to take the opportunity to bump Chicago out the way. Those were two brilliant shots on target, and yet Jay Knapp stays firm.
Just composure through and through from Jay Knapp. So much experience, been around the scene for a long time, and it's going to take a lot more than that to get him to bite and jump out of net. Great pass from Chicago. Atomic, a little off target there, just high off the crossbar, but G2 not done with their offense. They're going to rotate through as Chicago sees. Oh, it goes for the fake. I love that play, but unfortunately, Optic Gaming a little too wise to let that one in.
We're seeing so many fakes recently, but sometimes the biggest opportunity is just by shooting. I love seeing those fakes though. Just when you see them just bow out of it, get out the way and let their teammate into strike. It's wonderful to see. Halfway through the game, Mist stays firm despite the fact there was somebody on the backboard wanting to get the redirect. Right-hand wing sees Mist go for one touch, nearly the second. Where is Drees? Nowhere to be seen. Instead, G2 now on the push.
Oh, awkward ball there for Lucian. Ball trail stayed orange. I'm not sure if he got a touch or if it was just a misplacement from Atomic. Either way, it leads to a turnover and push downfield for Optic Gaming as Drees puts this one up. JNaps comes in from the weak side, keeps this ball alive here for G2, but boost grab from Drees gonna slow things up for G2, and finally getting boost. JNaps still on an island, has nothing left in the tank, gets boosted up, ball still alive, but here comes Lucian, and again, JNaps holding down that back line.
Opportunities for GT to extend their lead, but Optic are staying firm. They're making sure that these opportunities just go amiss, or they're able to clear them into the corners. Then you can get the 1-2 attack out of defense. Alu turning around again. His positioning, I think, has left a lot to be desired. He's finding himself in awkward situations. He's having to reverse, turn around, do three-point turns. It is not working. But so far, level in this game, it's not been devastating, but I can see G2 pressing that.
Well, and I think a lot of the reason for that is the rotations of G2. It's so uncharacteristic at times because you'll see a member that's supposed to rotate out but will cut in and just challenge a ball that you don't expect them to be on, and missed on that back wall, and Drees can't catch up. Chicago puts G2 ahead, less than a minute to go.
And the crowd are very happy about that one. It goes onto the backboard. Alu with a devastating miss. Chicago there, able to clear it into the corner where there was nobody. Drees nearly saving it away, but instead, G2 managed to get that lead, and it's something that they've certainly been pressing for a very long time in this game.
Yeah, on this stage, this late in the season, you've got to play Rocket League way better than this. Perfection not here for Optic, and G2 capitalized.
Optic hit the ball! Just everybody grounded, nobody wanting to take the initiative there. And so Atomic says, yeah, all right, I'll smash one back against my old team, I don't care. Atomic, great play from him. Optic, sorted out.
My goodness, you gotta jump on the goal line. Someone has to go. And we know this team is, you know, very relaxed, very calm in Optic Gaming, but you gotta call things out. Gotta have the communication, and that one just almost pushed through. Mist puts it into the corner, and here comes Mist, twirling his way through, but unfortunately no style points can go up on the scoreboard as Atomic just gonna throw this one up. I like that play there. I love that. You dangle it in front of the opponent, say come and get it, and not only are you keeping it away, but you're burning time off the clock.
Burning time, burning boost. Everything is being taken away from Optic so far. The final 10 seconds sees a miracle need to come on its way. Maybe that comes in the form of Drees. This time though, it does not look like it will be. G2 Esports 2-0 up in the series. Subi, I'm not going to push you too much to say what their win percentage is when they end up going 2-0 up at the start of a series. Do you know it?
I would probably say 137%, because if you give G2 that much momentum, you're not going to stop them. This team is so good. But for Optic Gaming, my friend, they've just got to do more. They've got to come out of the gates hotter. They've got to try and score first. Because if you allow G2 Esports to continue to get that first initial goal, you allow them to really spread their offense apart, and you cannot get those long clears over their heads. It's just too difficult to start an offense.
It just felt like silly errors to me, like especially that third goal. Atomic had a completely open net to shoot on. Like, what else is he gonna do? Where else is he going? He's going to shoot it at the net, and yet everybody stayed grounded. They only just got back. He completely outplayed. The crowd, big fans of seeing G2 go ahead, however, so at least somebody is happy in this conversation. That goal from Alu is excellent. But still, I need to keep harping on about his positioning. It's just annoying me. It's annoying me seeing him just go into iffy positions where you just think, mate, why are you turning around? Why are you not half-looking there? Why are you being there too quickly? Because sometimes it's a symptom of that. It's a symptom of getting somewhere too quickly, and then you need to slow down, only to speed back up again.
Exactly.
If you get there in moderate time, usually it's a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. It kills all your momentum once you have to hit that break and then try and speed right back up. And it really just throws timing off. And you can see him, all three members talking, but G2, calm, cool, collected. Game 3 about to begin. And my goodness, this team looks like they are on a mission to hoist a trophy above their heads.
I've done it before. This is the first step for them, the first showing of G2 on our stage. Whereas Optic, they went through 5 series to get here. They went to the Death versus Secret, knocked them out. They'll be taking their place. And they want to make sure that everybody knows, that they believe, that they can see with their own 2 eyes that Optic deserve to be here.
That's wide open, nobody home, but Illusion able to catch up. Soft touch from Atomic all the way downfield, but I love that. Just a little honesty check, making sure that Optic Gaming is rotating back in time. Infield pass, but Atomic way too high on that one, and Atomic not going to be able to catch up, but here comes JNaps off the side wall. That one's off the crossbar. Illusion able to get there. Great 50-50 midair, but Atomic's slowed down by Mist, and I love that pre-jump.
Mist defense, we've seen it throughout the spring split. We saw it throughout any other competition he's been in, London as well. He was phenomenal defensively. He was one of the most exciting players to see just where he was going to come from. But even with a Mist on your side, JNaps will find that gap.
I love this pass as well. The ball's on the right side, going all the way towards midfield, and then left post and in. JNaps saw Drees coming off that side wall, knew no way he was going to get backdoor, and JNaps gives G2 Esports 1-0 lead early on here in Game 3.
After that goal as well, out of my peripheral, I saw JNaps' dad get excited, get very animated, seeing what they are capable of. And it's something that you love to see, hanging out with Chicago's dad as well. The parental pride on G2, they've been here for so long. Must be incredible to watch them competing at the biggest world championship we've ever had. And between them, Alu, finally, a chance held away.
Yeah, but it's chaos on the back line here for Optic. They've got to do something to get this ball out of their zone. Just under 40 boost for all of them right here, and finally they're starting to get whittled down. Little double tap there off the ceiling from Chicago, and Optic Gaming hanging on by a thread, but sometimes that thread strong enough to hold you throughout as Chicago catches that ball. Nice double touch. Atomic can't get the ground pinched, and Chicago denied, but my goodness, Optic Gaming need to get some offense started.
Yeah, so far it's just been defense, and you don't usually win a game on defense. You can sometimes get a cheeky runaway goal, but you're not getting that against G2. Their positioning is typically fantastic. Mist so far for me has looked great on Optic. He was shadowing earlier on when it was a 2v1, and he was doing that so effectively that G2 didn't even get the shot away.
Yeah, and right now we've been talking a lot about G2's offense, and Chicago getting involved a ton. He's 4th in NA for shooting percentage, so if you give him a look, he is most likely going to rattle it in as JNaps flip reset pass, but Chicago tried pre-jumping it. I love to see those plays, but sometimes they can get mighty dangerous, but Optic Gaming very flat-footed right here, and G2 Esports starting to look like they're in free play, I'm sorry.
Chicago with multiple opportunities as well, just shooting a little bit high on that chance. Into the corner, it falls to Drees. Opts to not take his time. Guess who's going to be there? It's going to be JNaps. G2 are going to continue pushing, but these saves from Mist are going to keep them begging.
And here we go. Numbers for Optic, but Atomic swats that ball away, gives him no time to think. Gets that one around Illusion. JNaps a little too close to get that one, and gonna slow down G2 for a moment here, and Illusion up early, but again, denied by Atomic. He is just so quick and reads plays so well. You got to do something else to try and trick him out. Maybe a little fake, maybe a little passing, infield passing play.
Mist.
Oh, baby, off the post, rattles out. And Illusion can't find it either. G2 Esports playing perfectly right now.
They were all in the net. They all knew their job, yet Mist stretched them as hard as he could. Alu, though, shooting wide on a much simpler shot. I like that we're finally seeing some attack out of Optic, however. They are doing a lot better in this game. There are chances opening up for them, They just have not been able to take them. Jaden has had to whip it around, does manage to do so. We approach 1 minute left. G2 still leading 1-0 and 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, I just love how aggressive G2's playing right now. Giving Optic Gaming zero space, especially at midfield. They can't get any plays developing, and they continue to try and run their offense through G2's corners, and at the moment, not working whatsoever. Demo attempt to come out, but Drees able to avoid that one. The flick not on target.
Those demos potentially going to be the kryptonite for Optic versus G2. But if they're going to be figuring that out in game number 3 when they're currently 2-0 down, you need to get the goal from it soon. Chance goes off the backboard. J-Naps trying to dish it in. Does not manage to this time. Final 30. 1 goal separating them. Atomic, though, wanting to make it 2. And again, Alu with a save, learning from Mist.
And you see J-Naps there rotating out, but not before he gets an aggressive play on Mist there. As Mist, nobody goes for that ball. Miscommunication. And Optic Gaming need to push out of their half right now. 10 seconds remaining, and Chicago just picks the pockets of Optic's defense.
They are calm and stoic on their cameras too. As far as G2 are concerned, this is just a bump in the road that they need to navigate. They just need to get past it. They see the trophy at the end, and they are going full speed, slowing down whenever a team approaches them, but batting them all out the way consecutively.
It's not even a bump in a road, it's just a little pothole right now. You just got to swerve to the left to get around it. As game number 3 here, gonna go in favor of G2. J-Naps putting the exclamation point on this game.
1 second left. It's not happening. It literally can't. Game number 4. And I hate to say this to any Optic fans in the audience right now, we are yet to see a single reverse sweep in a best of 7 on an RLCS LAN. It is stacked against them. Optic previously have won a single series versus G2, but it did not matter because it was part of a set, and that was without Atomic on their side.
Yeah, G2 fans out there can probably take a big sigh of relief and say, okay, this one's almost all the way in the bag, and no bigger sigh of relief than J-Naps' dad standing right behind us. He was telling us he was on pins and needles before this series started. Yes, G2 heavy favorites, but on this stage, anything can happen, and hey, history could still come out, but I like G2's odds.
Optic, bear in mind, they worked through that Swiss stage, through the wild card, going for 3 wins, 2 losses. It was hard for them. It was hard fought, but they earned their spot here.
Wow. We just got word. Optic Gaming, no timeout. They just want to keep going through this. And I agree.
We're giving each other the same face.
I don't know about that. That's a bold move. It's a bold move. But a move nonetheless, and something that they're going to have to live with if they do drop this 4th game. But G2